Hi guys, Bryonna Nobles here, the witch next door, and Georgia Romance Writers has announced their 2015 Unpublished Maggie Awards finalists. You might ask yourself, well, Bryonna, if they're not published, why do I care? I can't go out and buy their books. Because writing is hard, my friends. Writing is hard. And you need to support your writer, because every writer at some point was unpublished. You see, one of the problems unpublished writers have to face on a daily basis is because they can't just hold up their book and say, see, look at this. This is my book. I am an actual writer. Because they can't do that, a lot of people don't believe them. They think that they're just saying they're a writer, but not actually writing. If you are writing, and you know if you're writing, be honest. If you're writing, then you're a writer. It just comes down to that. So no, you can't buy their books right now, but you might can next year or the year after that. These are the names you want on your list of to be read. As soon as their books hit the shelves, go grab them, because this is a new author and you can say, hey, look who I discovered. And that's always fun, right? You like lording it over your friends that you introduced them to this great new author. Is it just me? Tell me it's not just me. So if you're an unpublished writer out there, I do highly recommend that you find contests like Georgia Romance Writers Maggie Awards. This is because your judges, wait for it, are published authors. So these are the people who have already been where you're trying to go, and they're going to help you get there. How might you ask? By giving you critiques. Oh yeah. So they're going to send you back their thoughts and recommendations based on what they've learned in the industry, and that's extremely helpful. Not only that, but our finalists are judged by, wait for it, editors of publishing houses, big publishing houses. Just like with the Published Maggies, which, if you haven't seen that video, I'll post it here. There are 8 categories, and since that's kind of a lot for me to remember, I'm going to read it off my phone. Contemporary single title romance, contemporary category romance, inspirational romance, historical romance, paranormal fantasy romance, young adult romance, novel with strong romantic elements, and lastly, erotic romance. Don't know what these mean? No worries, I give you a short description before each of the finalists are listed. Now, on to what you're really waiting for. I am proud to announce the 2015 Unpublished Maggie Award finalists. First up, we have Contemporary Single Title Romance. This is a longer novel that focuses on the romantic relationship and is targeted for release as a standalone title. Now, this does not mean that it's not part of a series, it just means that each book should be able to be read individually. And the finalists are Play My Heartstrings by Sheila Grice, Providence Island, Main Street by Diane Hawley, Two for the Road by Catherine Roll, Murphy's Secret by Becky Turner, Dealing with Mackenzie by Jilly Wood. And there we have our contemporary single title finalist. Their finalist judge is Madeline Colavita, editor for Grand Central Publishing. Next up, we have contemporary category romance. These are novels where the primary focus highlights the romantic relationship as the central part of the storyline, but it's also targeted towards a specific publisher's category line, which maintains predetermined word count, content, and formatting guidelines. A great example of this is Harlequin. And our contemporary category romance finalists are A Pinch of Cinnamon by Tanya Agler, Fool for You by Rena Gray, One Night Together by Anastasia Hoff, Second Chance in Laguna by Claire Marty, The Sheriff's Little Matchmaker by Carrie Nichols. And there you have our contemporary category romance finalists. Their final judge is Anne Leslie Tuttle, senior editor, Harlequin. Next up Inspirational romance. These are novels where the spiritual or religious beliefs blend with the plot to form a significant part of the love story. The character's journey should not only have an inward and outward character growth, but also a spiritual growth. And our inspirational romance finalists are Miss Rogers' Neighborhood by Carrie Bardell, A Knight's Promised Bride by Elizabeth Lookenook, 15 Days by Rebecca Millett, Thief by Night by Connie Queen, A Certain Woman of Metal by Lucy Thompson. And there you have our inspirational romance finalist. And the final judge is Stephanie Brun, Senior Acquisitions Editor, Tyndall. Next up, we have historical romance. These are novels set in any time period and any location prior to 1945. Why 1945? Well, according to author Ava Marie Everson, 1945 marks the end of World War II, and thus that is what most publishing houses go by. Some houses are now using anything previous to the Vietnam War as being part of their historical lines, however. Either way, the romance should be central to the story development in any historical romance. The finalists in historical romance are Worth Winning by Parker Elling, Love's Triumph by Janine Englert, My Lord Mercenary by Tracy Hemming, How to Get Away with Marriage by Evie Jameson, Origins Book 2 by Erin Moore. And there you have our historical romance finalist. And the finalist judge is Gabrielle Keck, editor, Avon. Next up, we have paranormal fantasy romance. These are novels in which paranormal fantasy elements are integral parts to the plot. These elements should blend with the love story, where you cannot have one without the other. And the paranormal fantasy romance finalists are Perfume of a Siren by Serena Andrews, Queen of Hearts by Harris Fisher, A Moment After Dark by Janet Halpin, Magic City by Heather Leonard, Dangerous Dreams by Abby Rhodes. And there you have your paranormal fantasy romance finalist. And the final judge is Rose Hillard, editor, St. Martin's Press. Next up, we have young adult romance. These are novels with romantic themes interwoven with young adult issues and concerns to form the central plot of the story. Young adults between the ages of 12 and 19 should be the targeted audience, but as an avid Harry Potter fan myself, I feel you are never too old for a young adult book. I also have found that most young adult romances have heroines about the age of 17. And your young adult romance finalists are The Expedition by Mary Sullivan Allen, Prepolyptic by Kelly Garcia, Evil in the White City by McCall Hoyle, Untamed Magic by Lainey Marshall, Deadlands, The Awakening by Emily Vasquez. And there you have your young adult romance finalist. And the final judge is Candace Havens, editorial director, Entangled Publishing. She also happens to be the craft workshop presenter at Moonlight and Magnolias this year. Next up, novel with strong romantic elements. While there is a romance or multiple romances in these books, it is not the driving force to the plotline or central to the storyline. They must end with a happily ever after or happily for now to be eligible for this contest, though. And our finalists for novel with strong romantic elements are Smiling Underwater by Sydney L. Carl, Winter's End by Darcy Crowder, The Cabin by Judy Hudson, Waking the Dead by D.B. Siders, Silent Nobles by Sophia Ula. And there we have our finalists in novel with strong romantic elements. And the final judge is Sarah Murphy, editor with Bellatine Bantam Dell. And last but not least, our final category, erotic romance. A novel where a romantic relationship or relationships is developed through sexual interaction. The sex is an integral part to the story, character growth, and relationship development, and can't be removed without damaging the storyline. Must have a happily ever after or happily for now ending to qualify for this contest. And the finalists in erotic romance are Hungry by Lainey Marshall, QuickKink.com by Lainey Marshall, Sorting Out the Kinks by L. Mason. And there you have our erotic romance finalist. And the final judge is S.N. Graves, Senior Editor, Lucid. Congratulations, I wish you all the best of luck. I cannot wait to find out who wins, which will be announced at Georgia Romance Writers Conference, Moonlight and Magnolias during the Maggie Awards ceremony, October 3rd, 2015. Say that 3 times as fast. If you are enjoying my Real Love Contest finalists, make sure to let me know in the comments below, and I'll be happy to keep you up to date on some of my favorite writing contests out there. I hope you'll give this video a like to congratulate all of our finalists, and don't forget, I have challenged you in writing 1,000 words every day for 1 month. I'll be honest, I have not done the greatest job on that. I've kind of been sickly, but that does not stop me. I keep going, because I cannot edit a blank page. Quoted, Nora Roberts. So until next time, happy writing and happy reading.